I'm just coming in from work, and yeah, so here's my handbag. In fact, I'm just entering the house. I'm in my kitchen. As you can see, here's the handbag. And the story behind this handbag is that last year I bought some powder from, is it Estee Lauder? I don't know the pronunciation, but when I bought the powder, they gave me a complimenting gift. So this is it. It's a handbag. I do carry it with me every day. It's my favorite handbag at this point. However, I'm craving some mushroom, and if you've been following for some time, you know that I do love mushroom quite a lot. And last year, I preserved some mushroom, and I've got also a video. You can watch the link for the preservation process. So today I want to start the preparation of the mushroom. I want to cook it because I'm craving it. Of course, mushroom takes time, especially the dried mushroom takes time to prepare because it has to become succulent first. It has to become soft. So it doesn't need a fast cooking process. You have to cook it so slowly. So what I do, first of all, I soak it overnight so that it should become soft. When it becomes soft and succulent, that's when I cook it on slow heat. Yeah, so we'll finish the cooking process tomorrow. Today we are just starting. So come with me. I have to get the mushroom. My storeroom here, it's a bit dark in the storeroom. I should just switch on the light. Yeah, here we are. And the mushroom is here. It's in this one. Here is the mushroom. I've put the mushroom right here, and here I've got a bowl of water for soaking the mushroom. I'll just get some, just a handful really. You know, this mushroom is dried, and because it's dried, it shrinks. And when I soak it, it's gonna suck up all the water and it will become succulent and plump. Yeah, so I'll just soak it, just a handful really. I don't need too much of the mushroom. After all, I'm perhaps the only person who loves mushroom in this house. There is the mushroom itself. It's gonna stay overnight. It will suck up this water. I'll not even bother to clean up this mushroom because I preserved it myself. I know how well I took care of it, and it's very clean. It's clean mushroom. So I'll not even clean it. I want it to have all those nutrients. I want it to have, does it have vitamins? I want it to have everything right there. So I'm not gonna clean it. It will just be like that. I've soaked it today. It should suck up all that water. Then tomorrow we are cooking, guys. Watch out. Today is the day I'm finalizing my cooking process for the dried mushroom. So please follow along. First and foremost, I'll have to put the pot on heat. I'm going to transfer the mushrooms, the soaked mushrooms, to the pot. So the mushroom is soft now. It will not take time to cook, but also when it cooks, it will be very soft. Yeah, so I'll leave it here to cook for about 30 minutes before I add in some other goodies. It's now been 30 minutes, and let me check my pot to see what's going on. Okay, it all looks good. It all looks good. At least I should try how the mushroom is doing. It's become soft already. Of course, for dried mushroom, we wouldn't expect it to be as soft as the fresh mushroom, but it's soft. It's soft. So what I'll do firstly is to add some tomato. I've already cut it. I'll allow it to cook some more until when the tomato gets cooked a bit. Then later on, I'm going to add some peanut flour. The tomato has simmered and it looks cooked. Now I'm going to add some peanut flour. So dried mushroom tastes best when you add peanut flour. Yeah. As for how much peanut flour to add is more of a judgment call. I don't have any recipe. You know, for most of these traditional recipes, you just use your judgment on the amount of tomato, on the amount of peanut flour, according to your liking. So I'll put it there. And another thing that I didn't mention initially is that when I was preserving this mushroom, I had already added salt as a way of preservation process. So when I tasted it, I noted that the salt was already enough. I didn't want to add more salt. If anybody wants to add some more salt, I think they can do that, easily do that on the table. So I'll just leave it like this. The salt is enough. To add a little bit more oomph, I'm taking actual peanut butter here. I'll take just a little bit, actually half a spoonful of peanut butter, and add it. So it has to cook together with the peanut flour. Yeah, it will be nice. It will be very nice. I'm gonna cover it once more and reduce the heat. I think it should simmer for about 15 more minutes. As we are waiting for our mushroom to cook, I'll just grab a quick cup of tea. It's around 4 o'clock here. I want to have my evening tea, and then we'll finish cooking later. So I do love lemon tea a lot with honey. I'll put my tea back. I'll also put some honey. So just a squeeze of some lemon. And I'll enjoy my tea. All the products that I've put here are from Malawi, local products. I've put in some lemon. I've put in some tea, I've put in some honey. All these are Malawian products. Actually, I like buying as much as I can Malawian products, just to promote our economy. And for the tea, there's a video that's in the link above. You may watch it, where I was traveling from Cholo district to Mulanje district, and you just see the beauty of the tea estates there in the southern region of Malawi, just close to the Mulanje mountain. So it's a very nice video. You watch it, you enjoy the views of the tea, and you also enjoy the view of the Mulanje mountain. For my tea today, I'm having it with some corn. It's corn season, fresh corn. Wow, it's so hot. Just coming from the heat, coming from the cooking. Yeah, here is our corn. It's fresh corn season. As I'm enjoying my corn here, it just also reminds me yesterday the president, he declared a state of disaster. For the past 4 years in a row, we've been having state of disasters. This year we had the El Nino. Last year we had a Cyclone Freddy. You can see also in the link above, I traveled throughout Malawi and I was showing some of the damages that had been left by the Cyclone Freddy. You can watch it. And the previous 2 years, there were also some state of disasters declared here in Malawi. So it hasn't been good really for the country. It's put a strain on our economy. Help us with the prayers, guys, because this is still a developing nation. And such disasters are very detrimental to our growth as a country. Well, in as much as I'm enjoying my corn, let me now go and check on my mushrooms. It's actually been more than 15 minutes. Let's go. Yeah, this is how the mushroom is doing. Looks really, really good. This is what we are talking about. Let me have a taste of this. I have to put off the heat. This is it, guys. So lovely, so brown, so creamy, and looks so delicious. Looks very delicious, guys. So this is really nice, especially eating it with nsima. Nsima is our staple food here in Malawi. Of course, we also have rice. We have Irish potato. We have potatoes. So yeah, but this tastes best when you eat with nsima. Others in other countries like South Africa, I think in Zimbabwe they call it sadza, and in other countries they call it fufu. In other countries they call it ugali. I think in Eastern Africa they call it ugali, but here we call it nsima. Of course, I've also noticed that there are some other few differences in the preparation process of nsima. Others they make it harder. For us, we like making it softer. I think in another video I'll show you how to make nsima. So it's like porridge. It's basically porridge, but it's a bit hardened porridge. You add more cornmeal or maize meal to the porridge. Others they do it from the cassava flour. Others they do it from millet flour. There are so many ways of cooking nsima, and yeah, I think next time I'll make a video for that. But this one goes very well with nsima. Yeah.